Hello and welcome to the 5th Empire's tutorial. In this tutorial I'll be showing you how to make an infantry map, the flag capture system, and then that'll basically finish off a map so you can go ahead and make an infantry map with the knowledge that you know, which is including of props and displacements. So for this I'm just going to go ahead and delete the barracks. Now we're going to go into the entity tool, go over here, go to cap. So we wanted to have an emp cap model, and we'll just place that down. Now this is just the flag that changes based on who owns the cap. You have to double click on it, and you'll notice that it has no name, so we're going to need to name it. So let's just name it Cap 1 for the simplicity's sake. And you'll notice that it has a neutral model, but no Northern Faction or Brunoti model. So for this you're going to have to go to Northern Faction, click Browse, scroll up to Common, and then scroll down or type in flag, and you'll notice here is the Northern Faction flagpole, and we'll have to do the same for Brunoti. But I have that weird glitch again, so we're just gonna go around, select some stuff, and there we go. Now you'll notice that has an NF and Imperial flag model. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hook this flag up to a capture point. So you're going to come over here to the block tool. You're going to go do this over top of it. And you'll notice that it creates a giant box around the flag. With the giant box around the flag, you're going to want to lower it so it's not so high so you can see the flag a bit. And then you're going to want to press Control T. Now this creates a block that is basically that you're going to want to turn into emp cap point. So after you press Control T and put in emp cap point here, you're going to want to name this just cap 1. This is the name that everything else will refer to, so cap 1 zone, because this is already named cap 1, we can't have them be named the same thing. And then the location name, this is what shows up while you're capturing it. This is the time to capture it for your team from a neutral state. This is the time to go to a neutral state from NF to neutral or BE to neutral. Here are the players required. Here is if you only want it to be one team that can cap it. So we're just going to make it capturable by both. Because for an infantry map, you generally want to make it so that way both teams can. Here's where you can choose who it's owned by to start off with. Here's a linear capture, so if you want them to progress in a line like an escort, you choose yes. And then you go up here, and you choose a number based on the number in the position of the flag. So we're going to go ahead and assign this just 2. Here is the resources to give based each second per the flag cap. This is how flags give resources in some maps like Coast, and the reinforcements to take per flag cap, such as on Eastborough. So with that said, we are going to go ahead and change the texture of this because that is an eyesore. So we're going to go over here to the block tool, click Browse, and then go to No Draw. You're going to want to make all flag caps no draw, so that way nothing is drawn, and it just seems like a normal, seems like the ground. So it'll look like this when you're inside of it, and even when you're outside of it, this just won't be drawn. Now, we need to hook up a spawn system to this. So we're going to come over here, click on this, go over here, and we'll make this a Imperial spawn. How about that? That seems pretty good. Click there. We're going to want to keep him off. We're going to name this Cap 1 Imp. And we're going to want to copy him, and we're going to want to change this to NF. Sometimes this happens where it doesn't acquire the entity correctly. So with that said, now we can go back to our cap point, click Outputs, and this is where you can rig up the stuff. We're going to click Add. On Imp Cap, we want this model to change. So then you click this, you select the flag, and that's how you do the target entities. You just click on this and click the target entity, and then we're going to want to input imp ownership. Click Save, click Add, Imp, go over here, and we're going to want to enable the spawn on cap. So input enable. This will change the flag to BBE, and it will enable this spawn. So then we also need to rig that up for NF. So on NF cap, go ahead, turn that to input NF ownership. On NF cap, go ahead and enable this spawn. Then we have to also change to on neutral. So we want to input neutral, so that way it changes back to this state. And then on neutral, you also need to go through and you need to turn off both of these spawns. So there we go. This flag will now, once it's capped, change to the owner, and it will also turn off and on these spawns respective to if the who the owner is. So we can go ahead and test this, and this is the basics of an infantry map. You just need a flag, spawns, and the cap zone, along with some general props and detailing to go around it. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and we can try compiling. Just a quick, fast compile. Oh, we forgot to save it as Hammer Tutorial 5. Oops. We'll go ahead, we'll launch the game. And now, since we don't have a mini-map set up for this map, you're going to want to join a server that, or you're going to want to join a server, one that has a mini-map already set up, so that way you can accurately choose the spawns. So there we go, we can see a mini-map up there. We're going to want to create a server, and we'll just go to Hammer Tutorial 5. And again, this takes a little bit. I apologize about that. There you go. You'll see you have a white minimap, and this shows the flag. And we're just going to go ahead. We're going to spawn in. And let's fly around. So you'll notice that the no draw, it didn't draw. So it's a cap point when you enter it. And then it should enable these two spawns depending on which team we are on. So there's nothing drawn, which is good. Here's our little crater that we have. There's a little props. We're going to go ahead and join in on one of these teams as soon as the time runs out. Something to note about the mapping though is you're going to want multiple flags rigged up, and you're going to want them to be each named something separate. The spawns have to be named something separate. The cap and the cap model all have to be named something separate. But you should relate them close together to avoid confusion. So go ahead, we'll join in as BE. So it chose the only spawn point available. We're going to come over here. If you press enter after joining a server and have a white minimap, nope. So here we go. It's capping. You'll notice it changes to imp. And now we have a second spawn. But we forgot to change the number of the cap set point. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come in here and you're going to want to change the number to be relative to the number of this capture point. So that way it will create a second spawn rather than just adding on to the first spawn. With that being said, that was all that will be covered in this tutorial. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll include a download in the description. Thanks.